To another episode of APUA's Green Antigua PowerBlast, a search for the future innovators and inventors right here in Antigua and Barbuda. Last week, the teams were asked to build a solar cooker. Each team worked hard to complete the task, but in the end, Antigua Grammar School and St. Anthony's Secondary found themselves in the bottom two of the competition, and Grammar School was eliminated. Antigua Grammar had to take the fall there. This week, the teams have regrouped and are now even more experienced. Now, let's see if they've learned from any mistakes made and are ready to compete. One down and 5 teams are left, and in a few short weeks, one of them will be crowned the PowerBlast champions. So let's meet the remaining teams.
My name is Seth Joseph. My team name is The Physicists. And the 4 members of my team are Victoria Mansour, Kikilani Boswell, and Achieva Lotto, and Grace Somerville.
Alright, my name is Jerry Joshua. My team is the Brainbusters. And there we have Esquire, Alia, Kanbika, and Daquinsia.
My name is Francesca Etinov and my team is Honey Blasters. The members on my team are Arian Peters, Kiani Jacobs, Aljean Roberts, and Lashika Hodge.
My name is Joshua Robis. I'm from the St. Mary's Secondary School. Name of the people that's on my team is you have John Williams, you have Kevin Joseph, you have Jaime Williams, you have Tennyson Cornelius.
My name is O'Neil Rowe and my team name is The Conquerors. The group members are Chevron Jones, Audie Daly, Shaquan Frederick, and Jason Blackwood.
You may have noticed that the high school representative is not here with us today, but she will meet us at the build at the Moravian Conference Hall. These are the judges that will be judging the competition. We have Dwight Laviscount. He's a civil engineer at the Department of the Environment. Titus Simmons, he's a mechanical engineer also at the Department of Environment. And Gavin Pickett, he's the customer service engineer at APUA. Now, is your team ready for your next build? All right, this week you will be designing and building an energy-efficient model home. In turning to green energy, it is not enough just to find renewable energy sources. It's also important to reduce the amount of energy we use. That's why we have to be energy efficient. An energy-efficient home is one that uses less energy than a traditional home because of design technology and building products used. Your team will have 90 minutes to complete this project and must give an oral presentation to the judges while demonstrating your project. Your time will commence when you join your team at your table at the Moravian Conference Hall in Cashwell.
Firstly, we're going to use a two-story house, but that didn't work out, so we decided to use a one-story house. The communication was good, even though that the house took a lot of precision, I must say. It took a lot of neat and handiwork to get the job done, and we just had to split up the work between the team members.
On the build, there's 5 team members. 2 is always in the builders. I'm always the idea guy. You have Tennyson Cornelius and Giant Williams. Those are the builders. And then John Williams, he's like, say, somewhat of a co-captain, so he would look over and make sure everything going well. And then Kevin Joseph is just there to like help out with all the side jobs to get the job done on time. They really know the shape. We're just planning on getting as more power saving and energy efficient accessories as we can.
I was in charge of making the boxes. One of my teammates, Vicky Mansour, she was responsible for making like the furniture. Two of my teammates were responsible for making the garden. That was Grace Somerville and Anna Trivolotto, and then Kiki Boswell, who was in charge of making all the different features that were in and around the house. Some of the components that we put into our house were solar panels, open windows, floor plans, an open floor pan.
Here are some few tips that the teams should keep in mind. An energy-efficient home needs heat, cooling, light, and provide power efficiently. It also contains other features such as composting devices and home gardens, which can also help the environment. Even though the teams don't have to have actual working devices in their homes, they will have to be creative and place items in the design to represent the different technology and techniques that will make their model more efficient. If any team fails to impress the judges, they might have the door to this competition closed.
Well, we all know what we were supposed to do on the day, so we all, as soon as the time was instructed to start, we began executing.
last week we kind of knew what was coming. This week we weren't really sure what exactly was going to happen, as in of the equipment itself, because there are many different ways of building a house, so it was dependent mainly on the equipment we were given.
Algian. She was responsible for the windows. Kiani and I were responsible for the roof. Sheikha was responsible for the solar water heater, and Francesca was responsible for just overlooking and making sure that everybody has what they're supposed to have.
Well, since I have a week under my belt, each week I change, gaining more experience and more tips on how I can prepare for the other week. So like, I know the tip that most stands out to me is that I'm gonna have to get prepared. Always come prepared and never, because if I don't get prepared and I come unprepared, I'm gonna be at a big disadvantage. So that's a tip I really know.
Some of the components that we put into our house were solar panels, open windows, floor plans, an open floor plan.
Well, how we approach our build this week, well, we strategized a lot. We went about planning out what we do, doing the design in depth, so that we know what we're going to do on the day of the competition.
Built a house with a biogas tank, a water tank, and a transparent roof.
We did tall windows to keep as much light, get as much light in the house as possible. We used a dome shape to keep as much light in the house, but also keep it out of the house. We used the solar water heater as part of one of the energy saving principles.
Well, the retractable roof, it has two main purposes, right? Two of which is to illuminate the house, so you would lower the need for lights, therefore saving energy and saving power. and to just ventilate the house, to also lower the need for fans with the current temperature.
There's something called a gravity tank that we put in there, so it doesn't need electricity to power it like a pump. It would just use the force of gravity to force the water down and into whatever pipes that were downstairs. And then we had like compost that we can use to fertilize our plants, and yeah.
From last week, we learned that we have to be able to use materials that we didn't know we are going to have. So that's something we learned. I think my team, we learned to use what we have in the time given. We managed our time. When we were finished, we all patched in to help with areas that weren't completed so that we could have our project done in time.
The girls mainly designed it. They designed the house. Me and a squad, 2 males on the team, we did the gravity field tank and the biogas. We also did the roof.
So we thought that we were going to get a solar panel and a filament bulb, but we didn't get that, so we had to improvise and put another, pretend that a piece of cardboard was a solar water heater and paint that black and indicate that was a solar water heater. And solar.
So the features, we had more than one. We had solar panels, we had water heaters, which was a tank, we had batteries, a retractable roof, we had large windows for proper ventilation. All that is just to lower the cost of say you wouldn't have to buy fans or something.
time management. That was the only thing that last week's competition helped us with this week, because last week we were very hectic and we were all over the place. But this week we learned how to manage our time better and learned to distribute different jobs to different people.
We had our solar panels. The system we created was a hybrid system. So we had the solar panels, we had a wind turbine, we had our biogas.
Because of the way we built the roof, the gravity fed tank wasn't really going to be as efficient as we wanted it to be.
Really, you're just thinking, we need to get this thing done. You just want to get it done.
For example, we had to use boxes in the build, but we didn't have a box cutter, so we had to use the scissors, and then it had a rugged look. So we weren't very unprepared this week.
To be honest with you, it was just, I don't even know why we were with two-story. It just popped into our head when we were making our decisions. The only thing the two-story floor plan helped us with was the gravity tank. We came up with the idea for the gravity tank after we decided to be two stories.
It was kind of intense. We had one little area that we wanted to do as an addition, but everything was smooth for that time.
We attached a biogas tank to the bathroom. It's connected to the toilet. So when we defecate, it will be transferred to the biogas tank and then be used as fuel mainly for the kitchen. We wanted it to be light efficient, so that way we didn't have, when light hits the roof, it will light up the entire house basically.
when the time was winding down, adrenaline was just flowing through us, and we just really wanted to make sure that everything was going where it was supposed to go, put everything together, and make sure that everything was in order and how we wanted it.
We always, for the first week and this week, the time was managed good because we always seem to finish before the time, so on the remaining time we'll use it to get all our preparations.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Your last few minutes.
This energy efficient home would be faced in a northeast direction to make use of as much sunlight as possible, and in order to limit the amount of artificial light that would be needed to be used in the home, where in this case the windows are tall to allow optimum height. The home's floor would technically be made of concrete, which is high density as well as high thermal mass and reduces thermal conductivity. During the summer months, where the sun is higher in the sky, the sun penetrates through the windows in the southwest end of the home, and the concrete absorbs this heat and redistributes it during the cooler night. The large windows allow for proper airflow, so overheating of the home due to thermal conductivity does not occur, as well as they offer proper means for cross ventilation. Air flows in one way and unwanted heated air flows out the other. The home also has awnings to shade any excess of light. Reflective materials are used, so they reflect more light and less light. Heat from the sunlight can be absorbed, keeping the home cooler during the hot weather. Some limitations that we found were that passive solar homes, although
Good day, ladies and gents. I present to you Antigua's most energy efficient home. What is an energy efficient home, you may ask? Well, an energy efficient home is a home that controls the air, the moisture throughout the home. This means that the building uses less energy and costs less to operate. Therefore, the postmodern generation of a body of St. Mary's has developed a feature in this home called the PMG Smart Designs. Our smart designs cater to our tropical climate. Walk with me and I'll show you. If you take a look up the top, you would see vents. This would allow hot air to come out of the house. The hot air is why most houses are built with high ceilings. Moreover, if you come up a little further, you'll notice that the roof is retractable, and that this allows the sun natural light to be creeping in to illuminate the house and keeping it vibe.
The St. Anthony's physicists present La Casa Bonita. It is an eco-friendly and energy-efficient home. Key features include walls made from concrete mixed with straw. The straw is to help insulate the house so that heat isn't absorbed into the house. Walls made on the upper floor from bamboo. Bamboo is easily obtained in this region and is very strong. The cool roof, which is painted with highly reflective paint so that heat isn't absorbed into the house. An open floor pan with large and open east to west windows for maximum light into the house. South-facing tilting glass, solar panels, which is our main energy source. A large gravity tank with on a raised platform so that a tank isn't needed to supply water. And a compost garden, which uses organic waste from our kitchen.
So today we have our energy efficient home, and it's a hybrid powered home, so that means we have more than one source of energy feed into the house. First off, we have our solar panels here, which would help power in the house. Also, we have our wind turbine, which also helps, and we have a biogas plant, so that the biogas plant would be used. Any waste material coming from the house, we'd use it to produce fuel for the kitchen or to power the generator. In the case there isn't any sun or wind, which we'd use the generator to power the house. We also have our water catchment, which we won't have a need to use the government water as much because we'd have our own water catchment. Also, wastewater from the kitchen. We have our garden.
Well, we built an energy efficient house. It uses a sunroof with extractor fans to extract the heat. We have a water tank which is used to collect water in the kitchen and the bathroom. On this side, we have a biogas tank to collect gas from features in the bathroom. The roof is one glass to collect light to reduce the amount of light, the electricity we use in the home. It also provides a nice night light as well. We have a solar panel down here, I don't know why it is there. We have the door and 2 windows on each side. That's basically it. That's it.
Welcome back, competitors. Now it's time for the judges' decision. For our first team, the judges thought that the concept design for the house was well thought out. They thought that the team incorporated many types of energy efficient and renewable energy measures, which lend itself for a very efficient building. The judges also thought that it was a very neat design and was conveyed well by its team captain. They also worked effectively as a team by utilizing their resources to accomplish the task at hand. However, the judges thought that the team missed discussing some important measures such as insulation and lighting, and also compensated with too much renewable energy system. That team is Irene B. Williams, and you're safe this week. On to another school. The judges thought that the energy conservation measures were properly incorporated with their design and construct, such as the awnings, the solar water heater, and the PB technology within the design. The judges also thought that the team included large windows that would allow for good airflow. And their presentation by the captain was also well presented, providing greater clarity about the project. The judges thought that they were efficient and effective with the manner in which they utilized their resources. And one thing for that team to remember is that greater thought could have been made on the location of the panels, as well as greater emphasis placed on the building envelope and lighting. That school is Antigua Girls High School, and they are safe also this week. On to another school. The judges thought that a good concept and design was presented by that team. The design was also creative in the concept and incorporated various energy efficient measures that would be beneficial to a home, an energy efficient home that is. And the judges thought that the captain of that school was able to aptly convey intentions of the design and the construction of that house. And like most of the other schools, the judges thought that they were very resourceful with the manner in which they used the raw materials to come up with the build. However, the house, though, was well constructed, and it lacked functionality in regard to the gravity-fed tank and the orientation of the solar panels for greatest production. Now, although the bamboo walls were a good idea, there were concerns about the integrity of the walls as a result of utilizing this type of material for an entire floor area. Well, Seth, I think you know you're the only one that used bamboo, so you're safe this week. St. Anthony's Secondary, you're safe. All right, we'll take a short commercial break. When we come back, the final bottom 2 teams in this week's competition. Welcome back. Now for the bottom 2 teams this week. St. Mary's Secondary School and All Saints Secondary. Please step forward, please. The judges thought that one of the teams incorporated natural lighting and the gravity-fed water into design, along with extractor fans to remove the hot air, hence creating a cooler space. That was a good thing that the judges thought there. However, the house appears to lack functionality and missed on originality, the neatness and creativity. Although admitting a lot of natural light into the space is a good idea, the judges thought that it is not practical in the way designed, and the extractor fans may not be sufficient to keep the space cool, even the amount of light being admitted into the space. Now, the judges thought that the captain was very brief on his description and should have provided more detailed explanation of the team's concept. More coordination would have been useful to produce a more effective product at the end. The other team, the judges thought that you incorporated some very important energy conservation measures, such as retractable roof and a solar water heater system. They also included renewable energy measures, such as solar technology, which included battery storage, and your team worked well together. However, one thing to be reminded of, that there was a lack of very important energy measures, such as a double pane windows, and more effort could have been made by the captain to convey their intentions for the energy efficient house. With that said, St. Mary's Secondary, you're safe this week. Also in secondary, you do not have the power.
I'd like to thank APUA for putting this all together. I would like to thank the other teams for giving me this opportunity to learn from different standpoints. I'd like to thank my teammates for putting up a good effort and also for making me build my teamwork skills. I'd like to thank my school and my principal for allowing this to happen, especially so close to the exam.